Hi guys. Uh, I'll start with a brief introduction of myself. I am Sanchit Jain. I am a computer engineer by degree and I work for a tech startup of my own. But today I'm here to talk about what I call my second startup, which is the Robin Hood Army. Now, what is the Robin Hood Army? So what we do is extremely simple, but very, very effective. We collect excess or leftover food, but food which is absolutely edible, absolutely fresh, from restaurants and caterers, and we give it to the people who need it the most. The idea is to fight hunger by preventing food wastage. Now, to describe how we work and how we do what we do, I am just going to play a small video which was prepared by our Hyderabad team.
I'm a biotechnologist and I'm a robot.
I'm a data analyst and I'm a Robin.
I'm a writer and I'm a Robin.
I am a risk manager and I am a Robin.
I'm a yoga teacher and I'm a Robin.
I'm a software engineer and I'm a Robin.
I'm a risk analyst and I'm a Robin. I'm an interior designer and I'm a Robin.
I'm an analyst and I'm a Robin.
I'm a writer and I'm a Robin. I'm a software engineer and I'm a Robin.
So pretty simple, right? Not that tough to do. Now, we say that we don't just distribute food, we like to say that we distribute meals. Now, what I mean by that is our volunteers, who we call Robins, are encouraged not to just serve food to the people that they are interacting with, but talk to them, hear them out, or as you saw, click photographs with them, dance with them, right? The idea behind that is, being, I might not be able to solve all their problems, but sometimes just having a friendly ear to hear you out, that helps, right? And the second part is that the people that we serve, they are so marginalized, they are so as to say, cut off from the society that you and me live in, that, being a part of it for just half an hour means a lot to them. Like when we go to these clusters where we serve this food, these kids come running to us. And if I would just take a photograph with them, if I just click a selfie with them, they go bonkers. Their day is made. So just by putting in 2 minutes or a little bit of effort, I can do so much for somebody, right? Now, I would want to share a personal incident regarding this. This is about a year back. I had collected food from one of our regular food partners. I had some veg biryani. This is around 10:30 in the night. And I was driving down the road looking for somebody who I could give this food to. And I saw this gentleman on the extreme right. His name is Lakshman. And he's a rag picker by profession. So while I was driving down the road, I saw him on the side of the road next to a trash can, and he was segregating trash. So I just went up to him and I said, "Aapne khana kha liya? Mere paas biryani hai, aap khayenge?" And he was completely taken aback. He was shocked. And for some time, I could not understand what happened. I thought I'd said something that offended him. I don't know what happened. And he comes up to me and he says, "मेरे को तो लोग देख के भी अनदेखा कर देते हैं. आपने गाड़ी रोक के मुझसे बात की और आपने मुझे खाना भी ऑफर किया." So that is the level that their marginalization is, and that is how disconnected they are from us. So we like to say that we are in the business of spreading smiles. Now, who here believes that this problem of hunger is only in remote villages or places in the interior of our country? I know I used to before I became a Robin, but I would want to show you a small clip.
Half of all families in India's urban slum struggle to find food and experience chronic hunger. Not only this, but also many wage laborers consume gutka and bidi to kill their appetite.
काम करके आता हूँ तो यहाँ खाना कहाँ मिलता है? भूखे पेट तो आदमी खाना खाने चला जाता है काम पे। बस यही है, कहीं थोड़ा बहुत मिला अपना काम चलाने के लिए। सूखी रोटी खा रहे हैं, इसमें सब्जी भी नहीं है। सब्जी नहीं है, ना दाल मिलती है। बस यही है, टाइम काटना है। दिक्कत तो बहुत बड़ी है, टाइम से खाना नहीं मिलता है। यही भूखे पेट काम होते हैं। कभी कभी बीड़ी भी पी के भूख मिटा देता हूँ। खाना तो मिलेगा ही नहीं, जब बना नहीं जुगाड़े ना।
Now, this is a rickshaw puller from the capital city of India's biggest state. So the point I'm trying to make is, if this is the situation in Lucknow, just imagine what the condition would be in those remote villages and those interior areas. So what I'm trying to say is, hunger is much, much more than just missing a meal. What we need is a nutritious meal. We need 3 wholesome meals, wholesome being the key word there. Now, yes, food distribution is our core competency. That is what we do the best, because we believe that food is the most basic human necessity. And if we are not able to provide that to our fellow citizens, I think we failed as a society, right? But in the RHA, we like to say that the RHA can be anything that a Robin wants it to be. So under that principle, yes, we have food distribution drives, but we have clothes drives, we have blanket drives in the winter, we have hygiene drives, etc., etc. Now, I think the best example of that would be the Latur water drive. Now, as all of you must be knowing, last year, the district of Latur suffered severe drought. So what our Pune Robins did was, they asked people to donate water. Now, people either bought water and donated, or they collected empty bottles, filled them up at their homes, and they donated it to our Robins. And the Robins would load these water bottles onto trains. That's a picture of them actually carrying that water, and they would load it on the trains every 3 days, and they would send it to those drought affected areas, and a few of our Robins would also travel along with that water. At the end of all of this, we were able to distribute 75,000 liters of water to those drought affected areas. And I would like to remind you that this is all voluntary. They're not being paid for it. But the point I'm trying to make is that this is the power of community. And this is what the RHA is about. This is the bigger picture of RHA. Yes, we started with food, but what we stand for is that we are a medium where like-minded people from the community come together and they try to bring about a change. It is probably as simple as that. Now, I get asked a lot of times, how can I be a Robin, or can I be a Robin? And we say anybody can be a Robin. All you need is a little bit of intent and a little bit of compassion. And age is most definitely just a number for us. Yes, majority of our volunteers are working professionals, but we also have examples like Muskan. She's 15 years old. Last week, she kicked off our Uganda chapter. 15 years old and she set up that chapter. At the other end of the spectrum, we have somebody like a Rathi uncle. He's a senior citizen, but in terms of energy, in terms of dedication, he can any day beat any teenager. And I cannot tell you how many people he has inspired in the army through his work. And he's sort of a legend in the Robin Hood army that we want to work under Rathi uncle. So that's the kind of volunteer base that we have. Now, another theory that we work with is think less, do more. Means we do not want to overthink our ideas. If we think that an idea is going to be disruptive, we just go with it. So I think the best example of that would be the Robin Hood Academy. What we do in this is that we try to bridge the gap for kids who have not attended school because of their circumstances. The kids that we meet in the slums that we saw, we try to bridge the gap between their education level and kids of their age. So basically we get them school ready. We impart basic education to them and then get them admitted to the nearest government school. Now, again, this started with our Robins from different cities having a discussion that, whenever we go to these slums, these kids come to us and they have so many questions about school, about education, about job, and we must do something about it. And the first thought was, yeah, this is such a big problem. How do we even go about solving it? And then we thought, nahi yaar, kuch to karna hai. We made a team, we started setting up curriculums. This was 1.5 years back. As on date, we have 1,250 students in our academies across all our chapters. And the second number, which I'm really, really proud of, is 450 students have graduated from our academy to government schools, and they are attending schools on a regular basis. This, I say, is sustainable change. This is the power of community. Now, human beings are selfish, right? So I find myself asking me that, yeah, I do this in my free time. I don't get paid for it. I've been doing it for 3 years. What have I gained? So yes, I get to feel really good about myself. I get a chance to make a difference at my level. I get to work with some amazing self-motivated people, my teammates. But I think the biggest thing that I've gained is perspective. I mean, I've been born and brought up in India. I've seen poverty. I know what circumstances our fellow citizens live under. But when I interact with them so regularly and so closely, what I've realized is, boss, my problems are not problems at all. पेट्रोल का प्राइस बढ़ गया है, कल के टेस्ट में नंबर कितने आएंगे या जीएसटी का परसेंटेज क्या है, वो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. प्रॉब्लम ये होता है कि अगर मेरे को आज दिहाड़ी नहीं मिली, मेरे 3 बच्चे खाना कैसे खाएंगे, और हाउ विल माई इन्फेंट गेट मिल्क. Those are problems. And so I have realized that I need to be much more thankful for whatever I have. Now, in the RHA, we are not very big about rules because it is, of course, a voluntary organization. Except for one non-negotiable rule, we do not collect any money. We do not accept any money. And I am extremely proud to say that we've served over 4 million meals in the last 3 years, and we've not raised even 1 single rupee to do that. What we've gotten in return is a lot of blessings, a lot of smiles. And we like to say that we are always 1% done. The logic behind that is how we work is that we don't want to spend too much time congratulating ourselves, patting our own backs. We say, haha, this was good, but get back to work. That is the attitude that we work with. Because the problem that we are trying to solve is so deep-rooted, it is so huge that we will always be 1% done. I mean, next year, this 4 million might become 10 million, but in India alone, 196 million people are suffering because of shortage of food. So we like to believe that we'll always be 1% done. So we consider ourselves to be like a startup, right? And how are startups evaluated? They are evaluated on the basis of how fast and how effectively can you scale up, right? So you take a small idea, you execute it at a small level, and if you can execute it at a higher level with the same efficiency, you're a successful startup. So 3 years back, we were 6 Robins who served 150 people in one city. Since then, we have 12,000 plus Robins. We are present in 52 cities. And like I told you, we've served over 4 million meals. So that is how fast we've been able to scale up. This is a very, very sustainable model, and we are definitely here to stay. And over the last 3 years, what we've realized is that this might have started as a passion, as a hobby, but I think now this has become a very, very big responsibility for all of us Robins, most definitely towards the people that we serve. Because there are a lot of days when they wait for us to come. They say that, you know, we weren't even bothered about looking for food today because we knew that you're going to come. So after the start that we've had, I realized that this is a big, big responsibility for us. And on behalf of the team, I would like to promise you that we are not going to stop, and this is just the beginning. Thank you so much.